God, oh, I can't see tomorrow. Gotta live, try to get a little wiggle room, the rest don't stop. Quid pro quo, I need the best y'all got. Tryna make a dollar, flip it like it's vinyl. Tryna make a way. What's it worth to you if the price too high? Quid pro quo, I need the best y'all got. Give me your best. Don't say nothing less, cause I'm giving you 100. How you always leaving me with nothing? I'm not impressed. It's gonna take more than this, cause I'm giving you 100. And I don't even know if I can trust you for nothing.
Well, good morning. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to, I guess this is Monday. It is the first Monday of 2023, and my camera is really off. Y'all hang on just 1 second. Hang on 1 second. I got to fix that camera. I just looked up and saw it. I thought I had it all done, but good morning. How's everybody? That is so my bad. All right, let's try this again. Good. Oh, that's even worse. Technical difficulty. Sorry, y'all. Okay. Here we go. Well, good morning and welcome to Monday. Welcome to January the 2nd, 2023. Can you believe it? Can you believe we are finally here after all this time, after all this talk, after all the hubbub and everything? We are finally here. So good morning. And welcome to 2023. My name's Aaron Dwyer. If you guys don't know that, if you see this later on YouTube and you're not with us live this morning, I'm one of the broker owners of Exit Realty Lake Country, and took a 2-week little hiatus, but now I'm back in the saddle. We're back in the saddle. Good morning. You know the drill. If you're here with us this morning, you're here with us live, you're up early, please let me know you're here. So I know I'm not talking to dead air. So good morning, Facebook user. I don't know who that was. Let's see here. Kristen Ritchie, good morning, girl. I mean, I'm telling you what, I could not think of a better person. I'll say this, Kristen, you're going to probably be the lead dog on the 75 hard things. I'm going to keep chasing you because from what you posted last night about working a 12-hour shift in the ER and then still getting your workouts in and still drinking your water, for all of us, that we're just we're a bunch of sissies if we don't do it. So good job. Congratulations. Keep it up. We got 74 more days. So good morning. Again, when you jump on here, please let me know that you're here. Good morning, Kristen Ritchie. Glad you're here. A bunch of us are doing 75 hard. I say a bunch, probably a handful of us are doing the 75 hard program. I kind of want to get some more people on here. Heck yeah, girl, we got this. I'm going to tell you, as long as you're the lead dog, I'm good. I'll chase you, just not to let you win. And then I'll have to pass you. I'm just teasing. Good morning, Cynthia Porter. How are you? You guys jump on in here, have a cup of coffee with us. Let's get this thing going. I'm gonna hopefully get some more faces. But Happy New Year, Kristen. Happy New Year, Cynthia. Hope you guys had a fantastic holiday season. I miss y'all so much, man. I feel like I haven't seen y'all in a month and a half. I miss seeing y'all. So glad that you're here this morning. So got a few things. I'm trying to figure out where I want to go this morning. I don't want to make it be too heavy. I want it to be really, really super fun, super light, but I also want to make it something that kind of gets you thinking if you're not already thinking. Yeah, right. So everybody, I know everybody was watching the Georgia game. They were like, "Oh, it's New Year." I think I turned it over to, after the game was over, I think I turned it over to Miley Cyrus and watched her and Dolly Parton sing a song, which was super cool because so my grandmother, my mom's mom, and y'all know, good morning, Camellia Hurd, the black sun. Oh, it's not, I don't know why your sunshine always shows up as black on the StreamYard, Camellia. But good morning, Millie. How are you? Yeah, man, that Georgia game was something else, wasn't it? all you Georgia fans were like tore up on the inside. I bet they were. It's so funny when you see on some of these TikTok videos now that are coming out, and you see these like the before and after. And there's this heavyset Ohio State fan, and he's so fired up at the beginning of the game, and they kind of time lapse the TikTok from the beginning of the game to the end of the game. You got to feel for Ohio State, man. That poor kicker. I'm certain he's got to transfer out of Columbus. There's no way he can stay there after that awful attempt at a field goal at the end of the game. I mean, that wasn't even close. It was awful. But man, y'all, I'm sure you diehard Georgia fans, man, your insides were torn up trying to figure out what the heck was going on because Ohio State had Georgia's number. So y'all got this national championship game ought to be pretty good. TCU's pretty strong, so that'll be a good game. But no, I missed the ball dropping too. I didn't even watch it this year. We were sitting there watching the game, and then I flipped it over. What I'll say about Miley Cyrus. So Miley Cyrus was on her show with Dolly Parton, and they sang Dolly's song "I'll Always Love You," and it was my daughter Caitlin just walked in, and they played that song at my grandmother's funeral. Of course, I'm certain it's been played at a number of people's funerals. But my daughter Caitlin has my grandmother's signature from a card that she wrote Caitlin as a tattoo on her arm. So they were really good. Morning, Shay. Happy New Year. They were super close when that song came on. It was kind of cool, like a little hey wave from the other side. So yeah, y'all, Happy New Year, man. It is the second day of January. We are going to do this thing right. We're gonna get this thing rolling and heading in the right direction. Hopefully get you guys all rolling and headed in the right direction. I know we every year it seems like we get this burst of energy, so let's take advantage of it, right? If you're surfing and the waves are big, you surf big waves, right? If you surf on small waves, you never get to go very far, and it's not very exciting. And so this energy, this momentum of the new year, even though it's just a January 2nd, 2023, is not any more significant than January 1st, 2023, or August 17th, January or 2023, or any other day that we have. It's just the beginning of the year, right? It's the beginning of this new trip around the sun. It's the beginning of this new thing that we're going to do, and it gives us some momentum. It changes the energy. Millie, I'm sure if you're in the gym this morning, it looks like you probably can't get on a stair stepper because there's so many people there who are there trying to use some of this energy and some of this momentum of the new year to make some habit changes, to make some behavior changes. And they're going to be there for the next probably 6 weeks. They're going to be there for the next 8 weeks, and then they're going to fall off. Those habits is just not going to click. They're not committed to the change. And that's one of the things that we have to figure out in our business and in our lives, and what we do is what truly are we committed to? What is it that when the momentum builds and that crescendo builds and that wave starts to grow and the wave starts to build and we start to see that momentum coming, and sometimes y'all, you got to ask yourself, is it the right kind of wave? Because sometimes the wave at the end of 2022, and this is all I'm going to say about this. The view in the rear view. I said this so much better yesterday. Where did I write that down? Here. I wrote it down yesterday, and I thought it was pretty good. It may not be near as profound as I thought it was, but I thought it was pretty good. I don't remember where I wrote it. Maybe in my journal. The view of the past never changes. When you look in the past, when you are always looking backwards, the backwards view never changes. The past never changes. It always is what it is. It's always going to be what it's always been. It's never going to change. And so the question you have to ask yourself is, are you more committed to the comfort of the past? Are you more committed to the comfort of your habits? Are we more committed to what we've done than we are what we're going to do? And that's one of the things I want to mention to you this morning. And this is one of the things that I want to say to you this morning. I saw a quote from Ariana Huffington in some of the stuff I was reading today. What preoccupies us is the way we define success. What preoccupies us is the way we define success. So then my question is, this second day of January 2023, when this momentum is building, this crescendo is building, the wave is starting to gain some energy. You feel the energy of all the people in the gym right now, Millie. You feel the energy of all these people that are wanting to make these life changes, and they're going to quit smoking, quit drinking, quit cheating, quit staying up too late on TikTok, quit staying in the bed. They're gonna get up earlier. They're not gonna eat red meat. They're gonna be a vegetarian. They're going to do this, or they're gonna do that, or they're gonna do all these other things that are these behavior changes to get some result on the outside, to feel better about themselves out there somewhere. But a lot of times our view of success, what we view, where we are, what we look at in our immediate is what preoccupies us. And for a lot of us, we're more tied to the past than we are to the future. So in this book, I read this yesterday and I thought this is so unbelievably incredible when you think about this. So I want y'all to think about this. This January 2nd, 2023, here we are. We're in this moment where the possibilities are endless. But the possibilities were endless yesterday. And the possibilities were endless on the 31st of December. And the possibilities were endless on the 2nd of June, 2021. The possibilities have been endless. Every single day you open up your eyes. Every single day God gives you another moment to open up your eyes for you to experience a day. The possibilities are endless. But so many of us are tied to the past. We're tied to what we've done. We're tied to where we've been. We're tied to what's always been that, because that makes us more comfortable. We're more comfortable in where we've been than where we're going. So I want to share. So as we're thinking about this new year, as you're thinking about your business, as you're thinking about your personal life, as you're thinking about yourself, as you look in the mirror, as you're thinking about, a lot of us are doing this 75 hard thing. There's 4 or 5, 6 of us doing 75 hard, y'all. I'm not sure what the hardest part of this thing is. I think for me, the hardest part for me is drinking the water, and I love drinking water. But gosh, dog, I've got the bladder the size of a newt. I can't drive. I can't walk down the street. I go from my house to the gym up the road, and I got to use the bathroom like 4 times before I get there. It is the most uncomfortable thing I've ever experienced. But I'm sticking with it. I'm gonna do it because the whole point of 75 hard is not the physical transformation; it's the mental transformation. It's sticking to something. Sticking to a routine, sticking to something that's uncomfortable, sticking to something that doesn't feel good all the time, and doing it no matter what. Doing it no matter what. 75 hard, if you read the book, the guy that started this, Andy Frisella, that started the 75 hard program, he's rough around the edges. He makes no bones about the way he talks. His podcast is, there are more F-bombs on a 30-minute podcast of Andy Frisella than probably all of us on this call have said in 3 months. I promise you, that dude is an F-bomb machine. But he's learned this behavior, and he's learned where he is, and the success that he's achieved is based on where he's been, what he does, and what he's committed to. So I want y'all to think about something for a second. For the 4 or 5 or 6. Good morning, Laren. How are you? Happy New Year. It's 2023. Okay. 10 years ago, it was 2013. I want you to take a minute when you're I'm going to be quiet, and I want you to think about what your life looked like in 2013. So I want you to think about what your life looked like 10 years ago. As you think back to 10 years ago in 2013, has your life changed a lot in the last 10 years? Or is it just minutely changed? And it's a comment. Put a comment in there. If you're here with us live this morning and you're on this call, Cynthia and Millie and Laren, I want you to type in your comments in the chat. I want you to type, has it changed not much, a little bit, or a ton? Those are your three answers. So in 10 years, has your life changed not much, a little bit, or a ton? And type that in the comment box. Cynthia's got a not much. Laren says a lot. Shay McCoy says drastically changed, a ton. Who else? Kristen, you still with us? Or you in the bed? She probably went to sleep. Millie, how about you? Has your life changed a lot, a little bit, or a ton in the last 10 years? She's probably on the Stairmaster. She can't type. My life has changed a ton. My life has changed a ton. I mean, an absolute. Millie's life has changed a ton. I want to show you. I want to share something with you guys. Trying to find it. Here we go. There was something that I read yesterday, and I'm trying to find it because it's a psychological fact. Here it is. So we admit we all can pretty much except Cynthia. But Cynthia, that's kind of Cynthia's personality. Cynthia's she seems to me, and I could be completely wrong, Cynthia. You might be an absolute animal, not around us, but you seem very even keeled, very just steady. So not much would fit your personality. I am this. I'm a swashbuckling pirate. I'm a Pisces. I have a water sign. I have always been lived by emotion, by the seat of my pants. I try very hard with my C personality. I try very hard to have some structure, but it doesn't always work. So I am much more this. So my life has changed a ton, like most of you. And I think if you truly looked at where you are right now and where you were then, and you were to write down some of the things that are so monumentally different now than they were then, we'd all pretty much agree that a decade, 10 years, a decade, y'all, 10 years can create enormous change in our experience. But here's the deal. You guys know that Christy and I always are that our view of this company and what we do for you guys, that so maybe the next 10 years, Cynthia, will be the big change. Cynthia said, I guess I've been in a season of life and just now moving in a new direction for myself. So maybe this is the next 10 years will be the change. But Christy and I, in how we look at our company and how we look at you guys and how we look at what we do for you, it's not just a regular broker or agent relationship. Some of y'all jokingly call us mom and dad, which I think it's appreciated yet hurtful all at the same time. I'm just teasing. And so some of you look at us differently than a typical agent, a broker agent relationship. In my opinion, I've only been to 2 other real estate companies, and I certainly didn't look at either one of those brokers as my dad. I didn't look at either one of those brokers as anything other than they were a broker for me. So I know that in the industry, there are typical broker agent relationships, and then there are other Touche. Cynthia said it's better than Peepaw and Mawmaw or Meemaw. That is true. Peepaw and Meemaw. I had a. Do I still have a Meemaw? I don't think I have a Meemaw anymore. I think she's gone to be with Jesus. But my point is, we've always looked at our relationship with you guys differently than just being your broker or just being the owner of the company. We've always looked at this as that our role in your lives and the reason for you being at Exit Realty Lake Country is for us to help you grow in a certain direction. And sometimes how the challenge in that is, like with any challenge, with the challenge of these people who are in the gym right now, they've got to figure out a way to believe in what they're doing. They got to figure out a spot where they believe that what they're doing is going to benefit them. Because the biggest challenge for most of them and the biggest challenge for most of us in creating a new behavior style and creating a new habit and creating some different behavior pattern, when we stop looking at the past and we begin to look at the future and we feel this energy and this momentum starting to build, our challenge is, okay, I look into the future, okay, I look into the goals, okay, I'm going to look out there and see what's possible. But then if I don't see some success immediately, if I don't see some things starting to turn my way, if I don't see some things that begin to happen as a result of this new behavior pattern, what happens for a lot of us is we just quit. We just stop. We go back to our regular way of thinking. When I say regular, I'm using air quotes, our regular way of thinking. We start again to look into the past and we say, it's always been this way, so I guess this is the way it's always going to be. I guess I should have expected this because this is the way it's always happened. I guess I should have known this is how it was going to turn out because this is the way it always turns out. We all say these things to ourselves because if we don't see those immediate, if we can't get that immediate gratification, we stop. But I want you to think about this. Your life is in constant upheaval. Whether you like it or not, your life is going to change in the next 10 years. Whether you like it or not, there are going to be things that are going to happen to you in the next 10 years, in the next decade. Your life is going to look different 10 years from now than it does right now. And on January 2nd, 2023, my advice to you, my challenge to you is, instead of being in the caboose and letting the change drive you, why don't you be in the front? Why don't you be the conductor? Why don't you be in the engine and you drive the change? Why don't you be in control of the change instead of letting the change control you? Here's what I read yesterday. Here's the great thing about 75 Hard. Of course, I love to read. I'm a reader. I've been reading more and more and more over the last 3 or 4 or 5 months, and just trying to just learn, right? Just trying to get knowledge, trying to hear other people's perspectives. If you're not a reader, the 75 Hard thing, one of the peak parts of 75 Hard is you read 10 pages a day. You drink a gallon of water every day. Y'all, that's harder than it sounds. Drink a gallon of water every day. You read 10 pages every day. You work out twice a day, 2 45-minute workouts. One of the workouts has to be outside. What else is there? And then you have to be on a diet, and there's no alcohol. So no alcohol. So I'm alcohol free, as Christy pointed out in our message yesterday. I'm alcohol free until St. Patty's Day. So that'll be fun. I want to show you. Okay, so here we go. How many of you have a hard time seeing 10 years from now? How many of you have a difficult time buying into the fact that your life is going to change? Let's ask this better. How many of you think, Cynthia, I'm not sure I'm going to let you answer this question because I think I know your answer, but I'm going to let you, I'll let you answer anyway. If you're on the call, do you see your life changing in the next 10 years as much as it's changed in the last 10 years? Can you, when you look back at the last 10 years and you see the ton of change that has happened over the last decade, can you envision, can you see, do you feel that much change in the next 10 years? And answer this question for me, please. Do you feel So Millie says she absolutely sees. She said she didn't used to see the big change, but now she does. Cynthia says yes! Exclamation point. I'm glad I let you answer that question. If you're on here, do you see your life changing? Laren says yes. So Laren had a qualification answer. So she'd say, I'd say yes. And I can hear Laren's tone when she types that message. I can hear her tone and her voice. I'd say yes. And her look on her face is going to be kind of like this. And right now she's smiling. I know her. She's smiling real big because I'm pegging her. But she said, I'd say yes. So that's kind of I think so. I think, yeah, I'm in a different, instead of saying, yep, it's like Cynthia was a yes, exclamation point. I believe my life's going to change in the next 10 years. Laren's like, yeah. And that's kind of where I want to go. People tend to assume that who they are right now is for the most part the finished version. I'm reading this from the book. Okay. I'm reading this from look, she's laughing. I promise you, Laren is her smile. If you've not been around Laren very much, her smile goes from like the back of one ear to the back of the other ear. It's like her smile is just, it's one of those smiles that just lights up her whole face. So I promise you, she's smiling like that right now. I'm reading this from a book. I read this yesterday. It's from the Be Your Future Self Now. I'm almost finished with it, but I read this yesterday. People tend to assume that who they are right now is for the most part the finished version. We feel like who we are right now is truly who we are and who we will mostly be. We might change a little bit, but our current self is our real us. How many of you agree with that? Should I read that again? How many of you agree that who you are right now is for the most part the finished version of you? You feel like who you are in this present state may change, but not too much. That our current self is our real us. I think a lot of us get in that habit. A lot of us find ourselves in that little pool of mediocrity, that little pool of current self, that little pool of this is who I am. This is who I've always been, and this is who I'm always going to be. There might be some changes. I might be able to do a little bit. There could be some. I'd say yes. But for the most part, we all believe that where we are right now is where we're always going to be. Plus or minus 3 or 4 or 5% change, a single digit change, plus or minus, positive or negative. Psychologists call this end of history illusion. Psychologists call this end of history illusion. It's the belief that you've substantially changed in the past, but likely won't change much in the future. It's common to assume that your future self will mostly be the same person you are today. The psychologist, Dr. Dan Gilbert, what he says is the ease of remembering versus the difficulty of imagining. And he says the reason we do this is because it's easier to look in the rearview mirror and see where we've been than it is to look in the windshield to see where we're going. It's easier to look and rest on our laurels than it is to imagine a new future. How many of you believe that? How many of you believe on January the 2nd, 2023, that you can look back at the past and that's a much more comfortable vision? That's a much more comfortable view than looking forward into the future. Because I can. It's so much easier to see where we've been than it is to look forward to where we're going. But that's my challenge for you right now, this morning. 2023, where are you going to be? 2023, where are you going to be at the end of this trip around the sun? Are you going to be close to the same spots you are right now? Or can you believe that it's going to be different? Can you believe that there's something else out there? Can you do the small things needed every single day, over and over and over again, to invest in you, to invest in your business, to invest in your future, to invest in your relationships, to invest in the things that matter to you? Will you do the small things every single day that matter the most? Will you invest a little bit every single day to make significant changes in the future? Some of us have already started this. Some of us have already started the change. And y'all, all change is hard in the beginning. Every change, there is not a change that you can imagine or that you can undertake that's not hard in the beginning. There's just not. I mean, do you have any changes, guys? If you've comment, I mean, if you've made a change in your life that you thought's pretty easy, or you thought's really, really simple, it's an easy change, then put it in there. But for most of us, change is hard. To initiate the change is hard. Cynthia, that's exactly, creating new habits is always hard. Why is that? Why is creating a new habit always so hard? Is it because the behavior is hard? Is it because what we're trying to accomplish or what the new thing we're trying to introduce into our life is hard in and of itself? I mean, honestly, think about this. There are books written. Y'all know one of my favorite books that I've read in the last 5 years is the 5 a.m. Club. I think the 5 a.m. Club has made more impact on my daily routine and what I do than any other book I've ever read. There are psychological advantages to getting up before the sun rises. There are psychological advantages. There are physiological advantages to getting up before the sun rises. Your brain's in a different state before the sun rises. When there aren't the distractions around you, you get up before the sun rises and you're able to spend time with yourself. You're able to have some imaginatory thoughts. You're able to do some things. You're able to do some things that you aren't able to do when there are other things making noise around you. It's a psychological fact. But I want you to think about this. How many of you woke up this morning? All of us, okay? So whether or not you wake up at 9, 8:30, 7, 6:30, no matter what time you wake up, you're going to get up. So the physical process of opening up your eyes and getting out of bed is pretty simple. You've done that most every day, your entire life. Most of you have opened your eyes and decided it's time to get out of the bed. And so you open your eyes, you kick off the covers, or however you get out. Do you throw the covers back, or do you say gratitude before you get out of the bed? Do you open your eyes and jump up? Do you make sure that you wake your spouse up before you get out of the bed? You make them get up on the floor before you get on the floor? I don't know what you do in your morning routine, but every one of you at some level open up your eyes and get out of the bed at some point in your day. It's a common thing. You've done it forever. So you have that habit. So think about this. If it's a psychological advantage to get up before the sun rises, if it's a psychological advantage to get up at 5 a.m. before anybody else gets up, if it's a mental advantage to get up before anybody else, if it's a behavioral advantage, a physical advantage to get up before everybody else, then why don't more people do it? You're getting up anyway. That's an easy habit to change. It's something you've done your entire life. Why is it so hard to get up at 5 a.m.? Cynthia said it requires us getting out of our comfort zone, propelling ourselves into something new and unknown, getting out of our comfort zone. Some of us are more married to our mattress than we are to what matters. Some people are more married to their mattress than they are to what matters. And it's unfortunate. And it's, but y'all, our comfort zones are comfort zone for a reason. Being average, being like everybody else, being comfortable, it happens for a reason. We create those comfort zones. We create those zones where we're not going to push ourselves, where we're not going to do much outside of our comfort zone, because that's what makes us comfortable. That's the huge double-edged sword of your comfort zone. Is most success, most true change, most things that really, really matter, most things that we're pushing for, that we're striving for, most things that we dream about, most things that we're going after, most all of those things are on the other side of the fence. So you can stay inside the fence of your comfort zone. You can keep getting up at 7 in the morning. You can keep getting up at 7:30 in the morning. You can keep getting up, and when you wake up, the kids are already awake. And you get up and you look at your phone the first thing in the morning. And you can do all those things at 7:30 or 6 o'clock. And no, obviously, I'm not. These are for the people that are going to watch this later, because all of you guys are are awesome. And you decided to get up early. You decided to get up and be at the gym. You decided to get up before everybody else gets up. You get up before everybody else gets up to go do your thing. Millie has been going to the gym for, gosh, long as I've known her. She's at the gym by 5 o'clock, 5:30 in the morning. Getting up at 5 isn't my issue. Shay says, getting up at 5 isn't my issue. Trying to figure out why I'm awake every day at 5, even on the weekends, is my issue. Don't let that be an issue. I'm telling you, Shay, you can accomplish more. You can accomplish more psychologically and spiritually from 5 a.m. to 7 a.m., from 5 a.m. to whenever the distractions start. You can get more done if you'll take advantage of you. I promise you, Shay, there are people who wish they could get up at 5 a.m., who wish they could create the habit of getting up at 5 a.m. There are people out there that wish they had that, they could do it. They know the benefit of it. They wish they could do it. They wish it would become a habit, but sometimes they don't. So don't look at that negatively. Look at that as an advantage. You've got an advantage, Shay, that you get up at 5 a.m. even on the weekends. I'm telling you, get you some books. Start journaling. Start doing your affirmations. Spend time in prayer. Spend time in meditation. Spend time in the Word. Read your Bible. But just use that. Go walk. Go work out. Use that time to your benefit. Use that time to your advantage. Don't look at that as a negative. So let me go back to this. Most of us can remember who we were 10 years ago, but it's hard to imagine who we're going to be. And because here is the crux of the issue, y'all. And I want you to sit with this just a second. I want you to think about this. January 2nd, 2023. You all have new goals. Alex Martin put a beautiful thing of her goals, and most of you have there's a vision board party that's going to happen, I think, Thursday in Brazelton. You're starting to reformulate and retool and recalibrate, even though this should already be done. Because I've been saying this to you guys since August of last year. Your plan for 2023 should already be done. 2023 is the launching pad. It's not time to start planning, because for a lot of us, there's another P word that we don't, that's really big in our lives. We carry it around on our backs. We put it in our purse. It's in our wallet. It's in our backpack. It's in our travel bag. The P word's procrastination. And a lot of us procrastinate, and we think we've got tomorrow to finish. We think we've got tomorrow to do it. It's going to be, I can, even if I don't get it done right now, I can do it tomorrow. And we procrastinate. And before you know it, it's April. Before you know it, it's April. And then in April, you're going to be so busy helping people buy and sell real estate. You're going to be so busy in the throes of the market that you're not going to have a plan. You're not going to have your processes in place. And you're going to be operating willy-nilly, and you're going to be flying around. And by June or July, you're going to be stressed. By September, you're going to be overwhelmed. And by October, November, you're just going to want to take a break. Y'all, it happens every single year. I promise you, I'm going to get you to believe me when I tell you, Your plan for the first quarter needs to be done in the fourth quarter, but we can't worry about that now. What we got to do now is we got to get rid of procrastination. And if that means getting up at 5 a.m, having your plan built, putting some time and effort tonight when everybody goes to bed, you stay up for an hour or so, trying to write down what your goals are, where you're hoping that you're going to be at the end of 2023, how many deals you're going to do, what kind of charities you're going to, what up AD? What kind of charities you're going to support, how much money you're going to save, what vacations, Shay, are you going to take, and start writing these things down. Start putting these things in place, putting these plans in place. How many phone calls are you going to make every single day? How many doors are you going to knock on? How many emails are you going to send? How many videos are you going to do this year? Having a plan in place, having a vision board, having what you're going to go after, someplace where you can visually see it every single day so that it begins to build some connection to you. What you're seeking is seeking you, y'all. What you focus on is what you're going to end up seeing. What you see in your mind's eye is what you're going to see in your physical eye. What you believe is what you're going to see. Most of us remember who we were 10 years ago. We find it hard to imagine who we're going to be. Most of us can remember who we were 10 years ago, but we find it hard to imagine who we're going to be. And then we mistakenly think that because it's hard to imagine, it's not likely to happen. When people say, I can't imagine that, they're usually talking about their own lack of imagination and not about the unlikelihood of the event that they're describing. What are you unafraid to imagine for yourself? What are you unafraid to imagine for yourself? Your life is going to change in the next 10 years. A lot of us, it's going to be pretty significant changes in the next 10 years. For a lot of us, if we look back at 10-year increments of our lives, guys, our lives change a ton in 10 years. I want you to think about this. How much does your life change between 1 and 11? How much does your life change between 11 and 21? How much does your life change between 21 and 31, 31, 41, 41, 51? Y'all, 10-year increments are enormous changes. What I'm asking you to do is stop sitting in the caboose. You're in a spot right now, January the 2nd, 2023, where I'm imploring you and I'm asking you, I'm challenging you to get out of the caboose and get in the engine. Stop letting the change drive you and you drive the change. You imagine, you direct, you create, you take the reins of the horse. It's going to happen. Change is inevitable. I promise y'all, everything works exactly like it's supposed to work. And everything in the universe, I heard something this morning, and I wrote it down, so I'm going to share it with y'all. There's no stress in the universe. This is from Dr. Wayne Dyer. If you've never listened to Dr. Wayne Dyer, he's such a brilliant man. But he said there's no stress in the universe. The universe is built to be stress-free. There's no stress. The lion gets up and does what the lion does. The tree, every single day the sun rises, the tree goes and does what the tree's supposed to do. Nature, spring, fall, winter, they all do what they're supposed to do. There's no stress in the universe. It all works exactly like it's supposed to work. It all does exactly what it's supposed to do in symbiotic relationships with the other parts of the universe. Dr. Wayne Dyer said there's no stress in the universe. There are only humans thinking stressful thoughts. There are only humans thinking stressful thoughts. So here's what I'm telling you today. Your life's going to change. 2023, where are you going to be at the end of this? Is it going to look like it looked last year? Is it going to look like it looked the year before that? Are you going to stay in the caboose and just let this thing drive you around and you just react to whatever happens around you? Or are you going to get out of that caboose at the next stop and it's stopped right now? I'm telling you, the train is stopped. It is sitting here right now, and the whistle's blown. The conductor's told everybody to get off the train. You're standing there at the station and you're looking at the train and you got your bag in your hand, and now you got to decide, am I going to walk to the right and walk up there to the engine and tell the conductor I got this? Or are you going to walk to the left and get in the caboose where you can just be easy and comfortable and relax and let this thing drive you around? And you just end up going where you end up going. Where do you want to be? Do you want to be the one that creates the change? Do you want to be the one that creates the momentum? Do you want to be the one who directs the day, every day, the next 363 days? Are you going to be the one that wakes up at 5 a.m. and directs your day? Are you going to have a plan? Are you going to have a vision? Are you going to see what it's going to look like? Can you see what it's going to look like now? Can you see what it's going to look like 6 months from now, 12 months from now, 24 months from now? Can you see that right now? That's my challenge for you. As uncomfortable as it may be, as difficult as it may be for you, and some of you may need some help. Some of you may need an accountability partner. Some of you may need somebody else to help you see the vision, talk through some things. Maybe it's your spouse. Maybe it's a friend. Maybe it's your best friend. Maybe it's somebody in the company. I don't know who it is, but maybe there's somebody there, or maybe it's just you. Maybe you like sitting in silence and figuring this stuff out. But my job in your life is to help push you, help prod you, help you to create new thought patterns, new behavior patterns, new habit patterns. My job for you is to help you create a life that you want to create, help you create in reality what you see in your vision. My job for you is to help you see what you can't see. And I don't know if Millie's still on here, but I'm going to brag on Millie a little bit before we get off this thing. Because I promise you, well, I don't know if I can promise you. You have to ask her. But I'd almost venture a guess that when Millie was teaching elementary school, when she was in that classroom of second and third graders, and she was looking at all these kids in this classroom, and she was getting paid every 2 weeks, and she loved teaching those little kids, and she loved giving of herself to those families with those kids. And she was bringing home those paychecks every 2 weeks, and it was steady, and she was getting paid. And I'm not sure if you looked at Millie and said to her, 3 years from now, 4 years from now, Millie, you're going to be making 10 times as much as you're making right now. I'm not sure Millie would have believed you. I'm not sure Camelia Hurt would have looked at you and believed 5 years ago, 4 years ago. I'm not sure Camelia Hurt would have believed then what she believes right now. And it took Camelia Hurt, it took Millie. She had to find the ability to step out of comfort, to step into the unknown with a belief in who she was. So Millie, and this is what Millie said. She just said this, y'all. I would have received it, but I don't know if I would have believed it either. So if somebody would have said it to her, she'd have said, yep, absolutely, I'll receive that. I'll take that. Give that to me. But she's not sure she would have believed it. I promise you, she believes it now. And I promise you, what she believes is possible, what Camelia Hurt believes is possible right now, is bigger bolder, more magnificent than anything she's ever believed in the past. She has stretched her muscles. She has grown her reach. She has expanded her mind, expanded her belief, expanded her heart. Her emotions are bigger. Her mind is bigger. She thinks bigger now. She sees the world differently now than she did 5 years ago. And I believe I can say that with absolute certainty. That Camelia Hurt sees the world differently. In January 2nd, 2023, Camelia Hurt sees the world differently than she saw it January 2nd, 2018, 2019, probably even 2020. Y'all, every one of you have that ability. Every one of you, no matter where you are right now, no matter what you're doing right now, no matter where you find yourself right now in the present moment, none of that matters. The only thing that matters is what you're willing to commit to, what you're willing to stake your claim on, what you're willing to go after, and how much drive, how much dog you have in you. That's all that matters. Are you willing to do small things every single day without seeing immediate results, without the immediate gratification? Are you willing to do the things right now every single day without having somebody tell you you're doing a good job, without seeing the fruits of your labor immediately, and just putting the time in to do it over and over and over again because you believe, because you know that if I keep doing it the way I'm doing it, it's going to turn out exactly like I believe it's going to turn out. Y'all, there are going to be challenges. There are going to be pitfalls. There are going to be big holes. There's going to be quicksand. There are going to be things there are going to be people out there. They're going to hate on you. They're going to throw darts at you. They're going to try to squash your dreams. They're going to try to put you in a corner. They're going to try to douse your flame with a wet blanket. Those things exist. That's just the reality of it. But you got to keep digging. You got to keep driving. You got to keep going and hear the voice inside, that little still small voice that's way deep down in here. Instead of this big loud voice that's up here, all the big loud voices out there, you got to listen to this still small voice in here. That's why it's so important to get up before anybody else gets up. That's why it's so important to get up when it's only you. Because then when that still small voice tells you, keep going, do this, you're on the right track, I'm proud of you, here's the vision for you, here's the belief I have for you. When that still small voice speaks to you, when God speaks to that still small voice in you and tells you, keep going, you're doing fine, rest in this peace. All these barking dogs out here, it's just noise. All these things on the outside are just noise. I'm going to leave you with this. All change is hard at first. It's messy in the middle, but it's gorgeous in the end. All change is hard at first. It's messy in the middle, but it's gorgeous in the end. What God has for you is gorgeous. What God has for you is beyond compare. So today, decide to stop limiting where you're going with your experience of where you've been. Today, get out of the caboose, get in the engine, drive this train, figure out where you're going, have the map, have the itinerary, have the plan, put it together today. Start today. Don't let 2 more days go by. It is Monday. Do not let the sun rise on Friday without you having a written plan of what this is going to look like, without you having a written plan of what this train trip is going to be, without you having a written plan of where you're going, how you're going to get there, who you're going to take with you, and what it's going to look like at the end. Do not let Friday come without you having a written plan. Don't let the sun rise on a blank plan. I love y'all. good to be back. We have sales meeting Wednesday in Madison. Don't forget, sales meeting Wednesday in Madison. Thursday, I think, is the Brazelton a vision board party. So those of you in Brazelton that can make plans to attend that, be there Thursday for that vision board party. I haven't heard of one in Madison or Lake Oconee yet, or Milledgeville yet. So y'all get on those things. It's super important for y'all to have this put together. Again, I'm giving you guys an ultimatum. You got to have a written plan in place by Friday. Before the sun comes up on Friday, you got to, okay, so the vision board party got moved to next week. All right, get a plan. This week, get a plan. You got 4 days. You got today, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. You have 4 days to get a plan put together. More than enough time. Don't let the sun come up on Friday without a written plan. Okay, I love y'all. Can't wait to see you guys. I'm so excited for this year. We are going to blow the expectations away this year. I promise y'all. Don't listen to all that negative naysaying crap. Okay. Don't listen to all that stuff on the news. Don't listen to all the media telling you the market's going to be bad. Don't listen to all that crap. Y'all, we're going to blow this thing up this year. We're going to blow this. You're going to blow this thing up this year. We're going to blow this thing up together this year. We're going to make a mark this year. Okay. I love y'all. Be good. Be great. Be you. And we'll see you Wednesday. Bye, y'all.